So now we get to the part where MoonDream really starts to shine and it gives you some functionality the other models, at least as far as I have seen, do not give you. And that's basically giving you X, Y coordinates for the objects that you're trying to detect for, right? So basically, when we do this, again, an important thing to be thinking about is all the different components to the stack of your project. So we're going to be using MoonDream in order to detect objects. We're going to be using Python. We're going to pull out those XY coordinates, but then what do we do with those XY coordinates? What I'm doing in this particular project is I'm outputting to an HTML document, and basically what we're going to be doing here is we have an image within a div, and then we're using divs inside the image with the XY coordinates to show where the particular objects are, right? So this was a meetup I went to in Durham, North Carolina. Basically, people are sitting here talking. I'm asking for all the people in the image, so it comes up with the XY coordinates for all the people, and using CSS and divs, I'm able to create this HTML document, and I put an X on each individual person there, and this is something that is really cool with the ability that MoonDream allows you. So just to show you how this works before we dive into the script itself, basically here I'm going to do a couple of different images. So we're going to look at img.jpg first, and so this is our little beach scene. You may notice the resolution on this beach scene isn't very good, so let's run this script to see how many people that the MoonDream is able to see in an image like that. So the script is finished running here, and I'll show you this in a second. This is our list. This is giving us back our XY coordinates in a list for the different objects that are seen. This is where then I print out, I turn these XY coordinates into something that CSS can use, and then basically that all gets written to an HTML document. So I can go over to my horribly messy desktop here. I can double click on MoonDream point.html. I can enlarge this, and we can see basically how many people that MoonDream was able to see here. So saw her, saw him, saw one of those, saw the person over there, saw that person, saw that person. So one of the important things to think about with this is this resolution is really, really, really bad. So again, you have to figure out whether the quality here is good or not, right? If we go back, we can take a look at a different image. So IMG2. So again, this was me and Andre. We can go here. I can do IMG2. I can hit the go button. You can wait for it for a second. Do a little white boy dancing. Then we get our results back. So points, so it finds 2, XY coordinate gives me the CSS values. I can go here, I can simply do refresh because it's simply right into the same file, and basically it's showing a person, so X there, and it's showing X there for the two of us. Again, I can go back and the IMG3 is the picture that I originally showed you. When we do IMG3, we can run it, do some more dancing. Okay, we get the results back. So we get the list, we get the CSS information, and so I can refresh this, and that's that same image. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyways, right? So anyways, that is what we have there. And so this is the script that I'm about to show you, how this works. So let's take a look at this code, right? Same code we dealt with before. We're going to import the modules. We're going to use the model. We're going to have the picture, right? We're going to do whatever picture we're looking at here. We're going to encode the image. Then we're going to have a query here. So basically, what are we looking for? People, faces, mugs, cars, dogs, whatever you're looking for, you're going to make the query. The simpler the query, the better. Anyways, point result equals model.point function. So this is a point function. So we do the encoded image plus the query. What are we looking for? We're then going to print out points, point results, points. So anyways, the point result that comes back, again, that's going to be a dictionary. It's going to be, say, points, and then the other value is going to be all the points. I'm just pulling that out. So what we're going to get here is we are going to get a list of dictionaries. So X equals something, Y equals something, comma, X equals something, Y equals something, comma, so on and so forth. So we're going to print all of that out just to prove that it's detecting anything. Because the next thing that we're going to get into is CSS. Oh, AI. You think AI is hard? AI, anybody can do AI. CSS, cascading style sheets. That's what takes the real brain power. So again, important thing, I put this into a lot of the projects. We do little troubleshooting points just to prove that something is working before we move on. Because you could pull all of your points. Your points could be fine, but then you could screw up your CSS and nothing shows up properly. So that's one of the things to be thinking about, like with troubleshooting, whatever you're going to be building. So anyways, we do with open. So we're going to open up an HTML document, moondream-point.html, w as file. We're then going to do file write. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open a div, right? So the div is going to go around this entire image, and that's going to allow me to put other divs inside that image. Position, style equals position, relative. So this is one of the things that gets a little confusing, is the containing div has a relative position. The internal divs, where those X's are, have an absolute position. Just one of those things you just have to think about. Anyways, height is going to be 400 pixels. Width is going to be auto. We're going to say display inline block. So you have to do all of that. Basically, notice here, we're not going to close the div because we're going to need to add other divs and things inside. Then I'm just doing file right here so you can see what's going on. Image, src equals the picture. So the picture that we're using, style equals height is going to be 100%. Display equals block. So that's inline block, that's block. Just keep that as it is. Then we're going to go through here. For point in point result, right? So in point result points, you're going to get this list of dictionaries. So we're going to go through each index in that list of dictionaries. The thing is, when we get the values, the point values, the X value and the Y value, they're going to be between 0 to 1. When we are writing this out in CSS, we can use percentages. So we can say 50% across the screen and 50% down, whatever. We can use percentages. So what we need to do is we need to take that 0 to 1 value and turn that into a percent. That's really simple. You just simply multiply it by 100. So X is going to equal point X times 100. Y is going to equal point Y times 100. And then we're going to print this out on the screen. Again, another troubleshooting routine. Make sure we're not doing anything stupid. Right? Then we're going to do file.write for each of these X, Y values. Div style, color is red. Position, absolute. Right? Top, so this is the percent from the top down. So when you get these values, this is 0 to 1 from the top, 0 to 1 from the left. So from the top for Y, it's going to be however far down it is. And then from the left for the X, again, that's going to be the percentage value. And then we're simply going to print X out on the screen. So all that's going to be in that div box, the color is going to be red, is we're just going to see hopefully a red X there. So it's going to go through, it's going to loop for every number of points that it has. It's going to close, you're going to notice, then outside of that loop, we're going to file write for the larger div box, right? So we create the div box, we add an image, we add all of these X overlay divs, and then we come here to close the div box, and that is what gets us this pretty thing. Again, if you feel like you understand the AI, but CSS is driving you up the wall, that's about how it works. So that's how the point function works with MoonDream. Again, the big thing with the point function that you're going to have to be thinking about is once you get those X, Y values, what next, right? Again, like you get those values and then you need to be thinking about, are you going to output that to an HTML document so people can see it? Are you going to basically connect it to a robot, right? So you could connect it to a robot so the robot pivots, right? You know, find the closest person in the image, that could be coming from a webcam, and then basically move the camera so that the closest person is in the center of the camera, right? That's something you can do with those X, Y coordinates. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. Again, once you can turn this image into numbers or text, that's where a lot of cool things can happen.